Hi everyone. This video I wanted to try to clarify the options for taking checkpoints with me on Zoom. If you remember, when taking checkpoints, you are required to log into Zoom with me so I can monitor them using the Zoom link. I posted this PowerPoint on the options, and I'm just going to essentially go through those options. And most of them are very similar, but I wanted to just try to clarify these through a video because I know, even though I feel this diagram is really cool looking and easy to see because I made it. I know it may not be still. So the first option, and this is what you want to have ready essentially before you log into Zoom with me. You should kind of have what your setup's going to be. So this first setup is using the phone or a tablet as your webcam and the computer to access Canvas, and then of course your work. And you are here. I mainly need to see your work area. I mean, when I see your face when you log in, so that's kind of the ID for you there. So let me show you that real quick. So like I said, when you log into Zoom with me, you'll want to have your setup kind of ready. The first setup was using your phone as a webcam. So I have my phone. You can see kind of on the left side. I'm going to kind of go to speaker here, and my computer is over here, and I have a nice little setup where I can see my workstation. Here's my workstation, computer, and me, and I can do my work and blah 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 blah, and that's it. So that's that option, and most other options are very similar to this. This is my favorite option. Second option is to, again, very similar to the first option, use your phone as a webcam and another phone to access the checkpoint, or tablet or iPad. Like I don't have two phones, but some people do, and you can do that. But a tablet is very similar. So using the phone, which I have here, and I can set up again to kind of view my work area. Let me get it set up again. And again, this is something you want to do kind of right before you log in, because then I can just put you in a room with other students who are taking the checkpoint as well. And keep in mind, I sometimes have 10 people log in at the same time, and if you are not ready in this sense, it can make for a slightly stressful experience, and you might be waiting for a minute. Whereas if you just have your setup ready, I can easily put you in a room real quick, and you can get going. So please, just have that ready. And some people also with the tablet have I have an Apple Pencil, and some people have like an app where they can actually write the work on the tablet while accessing Canvas at the same time. You're more than welcome to do that. But again, notice key thing here is I can easily see my workspace and the screen where Canvas is on, and that's what's important for me to see. So the third option is to log in Zoom with your computer and webcam and just sharing your screen. So, just a couple of requirements, of course. All tabs should be closed. I'll be able to see that when you share the screen. Students must visibly, this is the important one. This is the only option where I require this is if you share your screen, you must place your phone or other technology out of sight. And I'll show you what I mean. So here I am, ready to share my screen with myself so I can monitor the checkpoint. Before I share my screen, I visibly show that I put my phone out of reach where I cannot access it, and then I can share my screen. Depending on your device you're sharing your screen on, this should pop up. You just highlight the blue screen. You're just sharing your desktop like this, and notice my screen is being shared with myself. And I can see other tabs, so I would ask myself to close some of these so I can only have the checkpoint. And that's that one. This is my least favorite option, by the way. And I say this because I have to open a separate room for everyone who does share their screen. Again, keep in mind I have about maybe 50 students that are going to be taking a checkpoint throughout the day. And if 15 people come and say they want to share their screen, it can be a little challenging to do that because I have to put each one in a separate room and kind of go through the motions here. And I can't see your workspace. If you notice, I can't really see. All I can see is your computer screen. That's why I have people put their device away. It's a much easier setting, and it makes more sense for me if I can view your workspace. But if this is the most comfortable, if this is what you feel like doing, you can. It's just, like I said, I will encourage people to do one of the other options other than this one, if possible. But if this is all that's possible, it's okay. So another option is to use the computer as your webcam and a phone or tablet to access the checkpoint. So this is like the first couple options, really, and let me show you. It's just essentially using a couple different devices instead. So here's my tablet that I have canvas. You might have to position it in ways. There we go. So I could see the whole page. I could have my work in front of me. This is also an option if you have a tablet. Like I have Apple Pencil. If I'm able to write on an app that, on the iPad, you can do that, or paper, just as good. And if you don't have a tablet, you can also use the phone. A phone is similar. I've had students use the phone to access Canvas. I just essentially need to see it. Notice you can see my face because I'm still logged into Zoom on my phone. But if you choose this option, you would have Canvas on your phone and you can scroll. I don't recommend this option, the phone, just because it's a little small, but some people actually do like it, and it's doable. And that's that option. And another option, again, very similar to the others, is just essentially using a combination of two different devices, using the computer as a webcam, and then another computer if you have another computer. And to show you that, again, this is really just me wanting to see the workspace and the screen you are working on. Because when you check in, I see your face, and here's the computer. I could see essentially the page. I may have you adjust it so I can see the page a little clearer, but I can see my workspace essentially. I might have bend it down a little bit. Again, I can see your face like that when you check in with me, and then you would be writing on your work, and I can see your screen clearly, and that's it for that one. Again, very similar to the others. Really, That's mainly it. The last option, I'll go over in a second, but you know, if you have any questions, you are more than welcome to ask me. But remember, before you log in for a checkpoint on Zoom, you should have one of these setups kind of almost ready to go, so it makes it easier for me to either put you in a room, because that's what will happen. I will have a bunch of rooms set up, and I will put people who want to share their screen. Hopefully, it's not too many, and then they will be in rooms by themselves, and then people who are showing me their workspace, they'll be in rooms, other rooms. So that's kind of the layout there. And if you have your setup ready to go when you log in, it's a lot easier for me and you to get going. And the last option that I do want to just quickly go over, I say quickly because I don't want people to really think these are tests, because these are not tests. You do not even get graded for checkpoints. You self-grade and type up a reflection for your own checkpoint. I mainly just want to assess your progress, and I do that by looking at your own work. And in order for me to look at your own work and believe it's your own work, I need to monitor you somehow. So that's why I monitor you. It's not to try to freak you out or stress you out, think you have a test. But if for some reason you just can't get over that test anxiety, and you think it's a test, because I will not call these tests, because these are not tests to me. You don't get graded on the checkpoints. You grade it yourself, and you type up a reflection, and then you get points. You can see that rubric on the next assignment, following a checkpoint. But you can do the do-it-yourself option, which is I won't monitor you. I'll just let you take the checkpoint on your own. That's what this is, and you follow the directions on the checkpoint, which is basically pretend that I am monitoring you. Give yourself the same time. Have the same amenities. Like I usually let intermediate algebra class use a 3x5 card of notes, so do stuff like that. And you still don't get graded off the do-it-yourself checkpoint. You get graded on the reflection part. The downside of doing it this way, I mean, I don't know if it's a downside, but you don't get the maximum amount of points. Each self-grade and reflection is worth 100 points total, and if you do the do-it-yourself option without me monitoring the checkpoint, you get a maximum of 60. So what I typically do is recommend all students to at least take the checkpoint with me, because worst case scenario is you're not prepared for the checkpoint, and even after the reflections you get less than 60 points. I will have you the do it yourself option again, and I may actually, instead of make the max 60, make it a little higher, because I will be having you redo it. But you would have to have done it with me first. So again, this is an option. I highly encourage students to just try to take the checkpoint with me first, and let me decide if it really is in your best interest to do it again. But in reality, it is up to you. So you do have this choice. You would just have to let me know. And those are all the options. Again, if you have any questions, you can log in and visit me on Zoom. Sooner than later is always better. And I hope this was helpful.